colleagues haven't already. And then we'll just jump right in, okay?
Okay.
So we're starting at 2:05. So essentially, we're going to move through a series of questions. You'll be interviewed by all three of us.
Okay.
And so how that'll work is we'll rotate through. We're just going to go through our list. I will ask a question, Marcus will ask a question, Carlin will ask a question. We will rotate back through about 3 times. For the last 5 minutes of your interview, you'll have an opportunity to ask us any questions that you have about this interview process, about IRA week, about internship, or if you want to run through any mock or practice questions that you'd ask in a more traditional job interview, you can do that here as well. That little baby iPad over there is recording you right now. So you've got a video recording of your interview so that you may look at it later and acknowledge any trends that you see, as well as any strengths, things that you do very well, and things that you want to improve and focus on for later. And I think that's my whole spiel. Thank you so much.
Do you have any questions before we start?
Yeah, great.
I do not.
Awesome.
You're easy to get along with. So in the back of your IRA packet, you've got those few job descriptions or internship job descriptions that you were asked to select to interview for today. Which one have you picked?
I thought you guys were supposed to ask me questions, so I didn't.
That was your opportunity to be like networking. I never would have known that you didn't have one. Pick one now.
Networking.
Cool. In the future, I totally recommend just pick one on the spot.
Okay.
You need to know your process. I care about your process. Okay, so here, well, I'll just jump right in. That way we can maximize your time with us. So Desmus, I would love to learn a little bit more about you and learn what you were doing before you came to Year Up and what made you want to enroll in this program.
I was working at Whole Foods as a maintenance man, and I didn't want to be in a situation that I was, so I had a lot of time on my hands to think about what I wanted with my life, and I got referred to this program from my cousin Cassandra Martinez, who is the current intern at Salesforce, and I was like, okay, I'll try it out, and she explained a lot to me, and she made me excited about it, so I applied, and here I am now.
Great. Thank you. What specifically about the program appealed to you?
Tech, because I played a lot of video games, grew up around technology, been hacking, or like I seen my mom hack a lot of stuff, or just be like an engineer with certain stuff, and I got introduced to that, and I've always been curious about what works, so take apart computers and Xboxes and put them back together.
Thank you.
So you kind of covered my question already in terms of why you want to work in tech. But I was curious in terms of how do you feel the program has helped you to build upon that interest?
It actually has given me a lot of knowledge, and it's given me interest because this is a lot of stuff that I have stumbled upon throughout my life, and I didn't know where to start at. So you guys are giving me everything that I've went through. I got introduced to video games, and I wanted to know how they worked. What do you need to make something work? How do I move an arm on the character? So you're pushing like X on the controller, and you're like, what codes do they use to make that happen? And you guys are teaching us how to do that, especially navigating Google and, navigating the computer. I've always wanted to learn how it worked, and you guys are teaching me something that I've grown up in. So it's instead of my mind being scattered all over the place, it's all in one spot. and you guys are teaching me from the beginning. So it's, you know, kind of like a dream come true, you could say. Like, for me, I feel like it's too good to be true. I thought about that in the beginning of the program. I was like, this is too good to be true, you know? And also, it helped me be more intellectual with what I say, this program, with the professional skills, you know, developing my grammar, making you think a lot, working different parts of your brain that I have not worked on. So it's kind of like having, a role model. So, you know, like you've grown up in a certain environment and your parents don't teach you what you actually need to know and help you develop your brain. So this program kind of helped me do that. So.
Thank you.
Desmos's next question has a few parts. So, first, what has been your biggest challenge or growth area during learning and development? Second part of that is, what have you done to overcome it? And then the third part is looking ahead at internship. What plan do you have in place to make sure that you succeed in that area?
Just to keep working. And for your first question is to, or can you repeat that again?
Yeah, sure.
There's a
What
lot
has
of
been your
parts.
biggest challenge during learning and development? They all kind of like piggyback off of each other.
Okay, so my biggest challenge is just researching. You know, figuring out what you need to work on exactly. You know, what areas you need to look at, and you know, just having that motivation to keep doing what you're doing and not quit. So, like I like it. I went through a lot of this stuff before with things. I've noticed about myself, like this, like I said, this place helped me grow. Like trying to break certain habits. So like I figured out a couple of weeks ago about myself. Like I always start something, but I never finish it. Like, you know, like I did jiu-jitsu for a little bit, and I'm at a certain skill, but I didn't earn my belts because I didn't go to promotions. Like I always made an excuse to not complete something. So, you know, there's no excuse. You know, you have to just keep doing it and not give up.
And what have you done during learning and development to push yourself in that area?
Just do the work. Just do it.
Do you have a system for that?
Just do it. Just do it. You know, stop complaining. Don't quit. Just do it. You know, like you gotta figure out which route you want to go to. It's kind of like, you know, when you touch a fire, you know, like you don't know if it's gonna burn you or not. Like you never touched fire before, so you're like, okay, I'm curious. Touch. Don't do that again. So it's kind of like that with this.
So in stating your track preference, what did you say? Which track are you most interested in
For
pursuing?
me, tech is a wide open field, and I have no work experience besides this in working in the tech industry. So I know that I don't want to go work in Excel, like do Excel. Like I don't like Excel. Like, I can do it, but you know, it's not my cup of tea. So
Okay.
it's either IT or quality assurance.
Okay, great. So to focus on IT a little bit, tell me why you feel you're a strong candidate for an IT help desk role for internship.
So help desk is like navigating people through the computer, right? Say if they have a troubleshooting problem. Well, I have always been asked questions about like what system, what gaming console they should buy, or you know, like being asking questions about video games ever since I was a kid from my friends. And you know, like if I have the knowledge, then I'll give it to them. But if I don't, then I'll have to research it and figure it out myself, and so that way I can pass it on to someone else.
Mm-hmm. That's a great example of a specific skill that you have. I think to be able to consult people on how to move forward in purchasing a product or how they look at a product, a technical product, that's really important. What are some other specific skills that you possess that you think will make you a really viable candidate and value add to a new team?
Well, I am very passionate. I have my mind focused on one thing, and I'm friendly. If you get to know me, I'm quiet, but if you talk to me, then I'll talk to you, and develop that friendship. Um, I don't like to. I don't like to be fake with people. I like to, I like to be real with them. And, I like having them give me feedback as well. So I treat everybody equally. Like nobody gets special attention.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So this is kind of a scenario question, okay? So picture this. You work on desktop support team, and you're responsible for overseeing a company's electronics. Your boss tells you that they're having trouble keeping track of small electronics, iPads, chargers, things of that nature, and wants you to build a system to fix it. Kind of what steps would you take to
Mark them, number them, write a chart, easy. Kind of like keeping track of your money, right? Or the things that you have in your house. You're like, where did this go? Oh, this person came over? Alright, I'm gonna hit them up.
any other specific examples?
Like what?
You tell me.
Oh, maybe like someone stole something. Like that's why you mark everything. You number everything. So like you guys have these right here. You number them, and whichever one is missing, you're gonna try to figure out where it's at or track it. Like some of these computers have trackers now.
May I add one question to that? What sort of tools, softwares, or resources would you use to actually keep track of the stickers and numbers that are on here, right? Because this isn't enough. So like, what tools or resources would you
Probably
use?
like Microsoft Word, a
Okay.
journal, just write it down on paper,
Okay,
stuff like that.
thank you.
Journal.
Can you tell me about a time when you were not getting what you needed from a manager or teacher, as far as like resources, information, etc., in order to complete a project? And then what did you do in that situation?
I went out and did it on my own. I took the initiative to do it myself.
Do you have a specific time that you did that in mind?
There's a lot of times. It's like kind of like you having a parent. Like if they don't do something for you, you gotta do it yourself. Washing your clothes. I'm just like there's a lot of situations like that in life. So I'm just giving out the easiest one.
Desmus, tell me about a time when someone else did not understand your point of view. How did you handle the situation? What was the outcome?
I had a conversation with them. I asked the person, hey, let's go talk privately.
What happened?
Talk privately.
But what was the
what happened?
situation? Yeah.
Like from like in the work environment or like in general?
I think in the work environment.
Well, I guess I clocked out 5 minutes early, and I had no extra work to do. So, what happened is she was like, "Oh, you can't clock out at this time," and kind of like nagging at me in a way. And I went to go talk to the manager because she kept writing, my coworker kept writing me about it. And I told her the situation.
And what do you think went well about that interaction? What could have gone better?
What could have gone better? Or her not talking to me the way she did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Talk to me like a human being.
And what do you think you did well in that situation?
And to go talk to the manager instead of handling it myself.
Thank you.
So Desmus, share one career goal you set for yourself, and kind of the steps that you're going to take to kind of get there.
A career goal. I am currently in the career goal here at Europe, and I am completing all my assignments to get in the tech field. And trying to get through this interview, this process to get there. So I don't know where I'm going to be placed at. I don't know what the future holds me. So I'm just pursuing what's in front of me.
And kind of another caveat to that is, what challenges have you been able to overcome?
Temptation.
Tell me more.
Going out with friends. Roaming the streets. Controlling my anger. Controlling what I say to people. Thinking before I react to something. Take a deep breath when someone tells you something you don't like. That's it. Controlling myself.
So that was the last of our kind of sentence word-based questions. My